Hello everyone. Right now we're going to discuss about integrative approach. First, we need to define what is integrative approach. Integrative approach in the term integrate, which means to put things together where the lesson real life situation, the lesson and lesson from the other subject, and the lesson and meaningful activities, the lesson and their intelligence and learning styles, that it paves the way to connecting what is learned in school to real life world rather than isolated facts and information. Where the integrative approach, also known as integrative therapy, which it values the individual and encourages the learners to achieve a state of wellness in which they are functioning to the fullest potential, wherein focus to place on the stage of human development and the different aspect of each stage of life. Integrative teaching is a well-organized anchored on real-life situations that include learners' interests and needs, creating a variety of meaningful activities and learning experiences. Where in this integrative teaching is supposed to allow students or the learners to learn how to approach a problem as they might have to in the real life world, and getting them to consider a single issue from different angles, wherein the teacher must have to be sensitive in the interests, needs, and experiences of the learners or the student in the class, that the learning episode is realistic and significant. Where the integrative teaching, it allows the teachers to evaluate their students by means other than standardized testing.
The simplest and most basic type of integrated teaching incorporates the skills in the same language mediums, employing learners' receptive skills to provide input and modeling for productive skills. Common understanding. An integrated curriculum allows children to pursue learning in a holistic way, without the restriction often imposed by subject boundaries. In early childhood program, it focuses upon the interrelatedness of all curricular areas in helping children acquire basic learning tools. It recognizes that the curriculum for the primary grades includes reading, writing, listening, speaking, literature, drama, social studies, maths, science, health, physical education, music, and visual arts. The curriculum also incorporates investigative process and technology. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining partnership with families, being knowledgeable and how they learn, and building upon the community and cultural context. Integrated teaching and learning process enable children to acquire and use basic skills in all the content areas and to develop positive attitudes for continued successful learning throughout the elementary grades. Integration or integrated learning acknowledges and builds on the relationship with each or which exists among all things. An integrated curriculum implies learning that is synthesis across traditional subject areas and learning experiences that are designed to be mutually reinforcing. This approach develops the child's ability to transfer their learning to other settings. This kind of approach is also a research also suggests that an integrated approach to learning is a brain compatible. The brain learns best in real life. Immersion style multi-path learning, fragmented, piecemeal, presenting can forever kill the joy of love of learning. The more connections made by the brain, the greater the opportunity for making high-level inferences.
As we use the integrative approach, where we teach values, health, grammar, and math, which all these subjects are parts of and parcels of life, which is the only true curriculum, where the three-level strategy that was popularized by the advocates of values clarification like Charles Merrill, The proponents of this integrative teaching strategy asserts that the teaching learning process should touch the facts level, the concept level, and the values level. As you can see to this slide, where the three level of strategy, first is the facts, concept, values, where the facts is the student learn isolated facts, and next is the concept, where the facts are reviewed and organized into concept or the relationship of the facts, and then next is the values. The knowledge acquired are related to the student life. And just for example, the story of the little prince meets the facts. Then where the facts of the little prince are the story where the student read the story, and then the concept in that story where student must answer this question: what happens with the little prince? Why did he leave the facts? How did the little prince tame the facts? And then the values where the learners relate the lesson they derive from the story to a real life situation.
So the difference of these two integration is that the interdisciplinary integration, unlike the transdisciplinary integration, is it focus the in a one subject area only. Interdisciplinary integration organizes the teaching of several disciplines around commonalities between them. Disciplines are less identifiable than in the multidisciplinary approach, while the transdisciplinary learning is the exploration of a relevant concept, issues, or a problem that integrates the perceptives of multiple disciplines in order to connect new knowledge and deeper understanding to real-life experiences. For example, how we express ourselves. Students explore ways in which we discover and express ideas, our feelings, nature, differences, different culture, beliefs, values, creativity, appreciation of aesthetics. This theme is deeply explored by asking students conceptual questions such as, how are beliefs connected to the way we express ourselves? Do all cultures express their nature and feelings in the same way? Why it is like this? How it is connected on to other things? What is our responsibility in expressing feelings and ideas? Why it has a concept of change through time? Where does the creativity comes first? So through different ways of exploration, students develop a layered understanding of themselves and the connection they have the rest of humanity. Best practices in transdisciplinary environment do not compartmentalize learning but rather explore content within the context of inquiry. Again, for example, children learning about beliefs and values around the world, social studies might compare a contrast characteristics of religions. With that information, they will be working with math strands or data using tally marks and graphs to analyze information. So, the transdisciplinary learning requires that all teachers are involved and collaborate. Through languages, they all explore new vocabulary that will help them create poems while getting to know well-known uh, authors. And through the visual arts, they will explore their creativity by learning new techniques and materials to paint a self-portrait. Uh, for, for example, in music, students might analyze and again explore beliefs and values expressed through new age music.
Interdisciplinary knowledge and skills are connected within the subject area. Knowledge and skills are learned through individual subject areas, and the distinctive nature of learning is recognized in each subject area. The student's personal meaning and the social relevance of the learning are enhanced by the integration of cognitive, affective, and social domain in the subject area of a knowledge skills, where this interdisciplinary approach, when teachers integrate the subdisciplines within a subject area, they are using the interdisciplinary approach to integrating reading, writing, and oral communication in language arts in is a common example, where teachers often integrate history, geography, economics, and government in a interdisciplinary social studies program. The integrated science integrates the perspective and subdisciplines.
So the multidisciplinary learning or integration is that it requires that all teachers are also involved. They must shift away from the comfort zone of working individually by sharing ideas with others. This result is in building meaningfully and endure understanding for students. So, the multidisciplinary integration, the subject area outcomes remain distinct, and but due to some meaningful linkages, they are connected together during the process of transaction. An approach to curriculum integration which focuses primarily in the different disciplines and the diverse perspectives they bring to illustrate a topic, theme, or issues. A multidisciplinary curriculum is one in which the same topics is studied from the viewpoint of more than one disciplines. So, what are the some examples of multidisciplinary? So, it is something that combines several fields of study or academic interest. So, an example of it is a course of study is when you study math, science, English, and history, relating to multiple areas of studies. It is very important. Involving several professionals with their own expertise is important in attaining an optimal effect. So, multidisciplinary skills is a kind of abilities that can facilitate the process to find solution to complex problems from several perspectives. A multidisciplinary integration focus primarily on the disciplines and an approach to active learning and in an multidisciplinary approach is standards from various objectives, and it is a learning that combines several subjects. Transdisciplinary integration. So, it is an approach to curriculum integration which dissolves the boundaries between the conventional disciplines and organizes teaching and learning around the construction of meaning in the context of real-world problems or themes. In the transdisciplinary approach to integration, teachers organize curriculum around student questions and concerns. Students develop life skills as they apply interdisciplinary and disciplinary skills in a real-life context. Negotiating the curriculum in transdisciplinary integration is a kind of version or a kind of approach that a student's question from the basis for curriculum is negotiated on an integrated curriculum, and who advocates theme studies revolving around personal growth and social issues on standardized test. Sounding students perform about the same as students who have not participated in a program. And unlike the ano, unlike the intradisciplinary approach, uh, transdisciplinary integration involves organizing the curriculum around students, questions, interests, concerns. This is done through either project-based learning, where students get involved in a local problem and negotiating the curriculum, where the basis of curriculum is formed around the interests and question of students. Transdisciplinary integration is similar to integration interdisciplinary, not intradisciplinary. It is similar to interdisciplinary integration because standards from more than one discipline are addressed. Content-based instruction is an approach for second or foreign language learning, organized around the content or information that student will acquire. Teaching of content or information in language, teaching by using the language. Content-based instruction is grounded on the following two central principles. They are: people learn a second language more successfully when they use the language as a means of acquiring information rather than as an end in itself. Content-based instruction better reflect learners' needs for learning a second language. And it is an effective method of combining language and content learning. Effectively increases learners' English language proficiency and teaches them the skills necessary for the success in various professions. With center-based, learners gradually acquire greater control of English language, enabling them to participate more fully in the academic and social environment. Content-based instruction in specialized language courses have included content relevant to a particular profession or academic discipline. For airlines, just like for airlines pilots, medical practitioners, and lawyers. It integrates the learning of language with the learning of some other content, often academic subject matter. Of academic subjects provide natural content for language instruction. Motivated language across the curriculum, movement for native speakers, and instead of teaching language, the target language becomes the medium in which important information can be learned. When the students are studying a content area of interest, they are more intrinsically motivated to learn both of the content and the language simultaneously. The students are actually able to use their new language. Content-based learning is the most appropriate or intermediate and advanced proficiency levels. It extends student vocabulary and knowledge, giving student words to use when they speak or write, extending vocabulary and speaking and writing skills. In other words, students learn new words with every activity and create a base of words built on the activities. So, the content-based instruction has a role of a content in other curriculum designs. The language across the curriculum, immersion education, immigrant on arrival programs are for students with limited English proficiency, language for specific purposes. The syllabus is organized around general themes or topics. The language syllabus is subordinated to the more general theme. The general theme might provide organizing topics for 2 weeks or integrated classroom work. A topic might be introduced through the 4 skills. Integrate information from several different sources. Most of the materials used with typically by teacher generated. The topic must across all skills. Thematic teaching starts with the identification of theme and the underlying concept that allows for the structure and organizations of specific content across disciplines. The theme is the topic of interest that provides the core of group activities. It helps learners see meaningful connections across disciplines or learning areas or subjects. More importantly, themes provides a relevance for the learners by drawing to a concepts under the umbrella. Building off from a previous theme is very beneficial. It would help scaffolding specific ideas. By building off the previous theme, the students will gather more information about the past until as well as the new unit. If you are in the high school level or college level, keep your advanced focus on the content area and incorporate other subjects in smaller doses. For example, if you are a social studies teacher, focus instruction relating to social studies and add other subjects into the mix at a smaller pace. So, the teacher who has many standards and objectives meet in a multiple content areas go a step further and allow students to have a say in the themes that are studied. This empowers students, which allows for more meaningful learning. A thematic teaching is a teaching approach where many different areas of the required curriculum are connected using a common theme. So, the example of thematic approach is a class focusing on a beach theme. It might learn vocabulary for a common objects on the beach. Uh, Read books about the beach and do beach theme artwork. So it provides opportunities for a child or a student to learn by doing and have direct experience with the world. Focusing inquiry is an interdisciplinary approach that uses questions to organize learning. Like most disciplinary teaching, it crosses conventional knowledge boundaries. The teacher guides learners to discover answers to questions, whether or not answers pre-exist. Learners become creators of knowledge rather than recipients. Concepts and content are less important than the governing process, conducting an investigation and communicating what was learned to others. The process of inquiry is in the organizer, the instructional design, while content is relegated to an ancillary place. Focus inquiry-based instruction is a student-centered and teacher-guided instructional approach that engages students in investigating real-world questions what they choose within a broad thematic framework. Inquiry-based instruction complements traditional instruction by providing a vehicle for extending and applying the learning of students in a way that connects with their interest with a broader thematic framework. Students acquire and analyze information solutions, develop a support procedures, provide solutions and design technology and arts products that demonstrate their thinking and make their learning visible. What is important and therefore worth spending time on, given where my students are at? This focusing inquiry establishes a baseline and in the direction. The teacher uses all available information to determine what their students have already learned and what they need to learn next. Focusing in focus inquiry means the center of interest or activity is the focus of attention and connection. Also, the concentration. Inquiry is sometimes termed discovery, heuristic, and problem solving. It is defined simply as a teaching method which is modeled after the investigative process of scientists. It puts premium in obtaining information through direct experience. Frame a focusing question, present a field of facts, help learners connect or relate facts, help learners generate explanatory ideas, help learners find answers.
Hello everyone, let me discuss to you the continuation of our topic, the inquiry-based learning. So, let us identify what is the inquiry-based learning. So the inquiry-based learning is a process where the students are involved in their learning, formulate questions, investigate widely, and then build as understanding, meaning, and knowledge. So the inquiry-based learning, it is a contrast with traditional education, which generally relies on the teachers presenting facts on their knowledge about the subject. As we discuss the inquiry-based learning, first let us define what is facts. So the facts is a thing that is known or to prove to be true. So in inquiry-based learning, we have a 4 steps to follow. First is the frame focusing questions, and second, present a field of facts or a facts that to be proved to be true. And the number 3 helps learners connect or relate facts, and number 4 is help integrate explanatory ideas. Next is the teaching strategies for inquiry process. We have 2 levels of strategies for inquiry process, the low-level process and the high-level process. So in low-level process, it is composed of recalling, observing, comparing or contrasting, classifying, defining, interpreting, and generalizing. While in a high-level process, interfering, hypothesizing, predicting, analyzing, and evaluating. So let us proceed to the thematic teaching. So let us define what is thematic teaching. Thematic teaching provides a broad framework or for linking content and process from variety of discipline. So it is also a selecting of and highlighting of the theme through an instructional module or course or multiple courses. So as we can say a theme, the theme is a subject or a topic or discourse or artistic presentation. So let us discuss what is the importance of the theme. So the theme provides coherence. So coherence provides alternative words, choices that can add or variety to an essay and can help eliminate an unnecessary repetition. Next is gives focus to the activities and helps the learner see meaningful connection and links ideas, actions, and learning to life. Next is the integrated unit design. The integrated unit design identifies a major concept with topics from the different subject around the theme. So, some examples of the integrated unit design is integrated reading, writing, oral communication, in language arts is an common example. So, the teachers often integrated history. So, in geography, economics, and government, in a disciplinary and social studies program. So, let us proceed to the steps for integrated unit design. First is to decide a unit theme that will allow the group members to enter the integration process or will to allow the subject areas to join. Second is the identifies as major concept to the common thread for the all subject areas. So number 3 is the brainstorming and list generalization that will derive from the study of the theme. Next is the brainstorming some of the essential understanding that would expect learners to derive from the study. Number 5, brainstorming essential questions. So the essential questions to facilitate study towards the essential understanding. And number 6, list process or a complex performance and bullet key skills to be emphasized in a unit instruction and activities. And number 8, write a culminating performance to show a depth of learner. And number 9 is the design and scoring guide or some example are rubrics or criteria and standards to assess the performance task, and additional types of assessment may be used to measure the progress throughout the units.
Also, in integrative approach, where they have the kinds of work units or the integrative activities in the classroom. Where in the integrative classroom, the subject matter is divided into meaningful learning experiences, which are unified around a certain core or theme for which this child has a field need. These organized learning experience are called units, and we need to define what is unit. Unit is an organization of activities or experiences around a purpose or a problem, where it signifies wholeness, oneness, or unity, where the integrative approach defined that in the kinds of unit, there are three kinds of unit of work. First is the subject matter units, second is the center of interest units, and third is integrative experience unit. The first is the subject matter units, that these units are organized around the usual textbook chapters or topics or around major generalization and principles. And the second is the center of interest units, where the units based on the interest of pupils or the learners, where their felt needs, their dominant purpose, or a combination of these, where can get the full potential of the learners to their interests. And third is the integrative experience units, where in this unit, which aim at a learning product which is change behavior in the adjustment of the individual. In integrative approach, there are other forms of integrative strategy, which is the lecture discussion, demonstration lecture method, film showing discussion, reporting discussion, and inductive or deductive technique, directed transductive, where in the first other forms of integrative strategy, where the lecture discussion, it uses the three-pronged strategy, which include careful organization of the course material, student interaction in lecture, and discussion section activities. And the second is the demonstration lecture method, where after showing an actual thing that represents the subject matter, the teacher may now proceed to his lecture in order to provide student with an in-depth understanding of the procedure or process presented. And the third is film showing discussion, where the teacher uses films, tapes, slides, and television, and after that, the discussion will follow to the class. And the fourth is the reporting discussion, where after a student makes a report, the class can actively engage in an interesting discussion of the various ideas that the student shared with his classmate, and where the teacher at this point can enliven the session by asking some question and can enrich it too by adding relevant and clarifying ideas. The fifth integrative strategy is the inductive deductive technique, wherein teaching from the most specific to most complex subject matter, and then letting the learners derive their own specific understanding about the topic. And the sixth is the directive transductive, where convergent thinking is emphasized. This strategy, which is highly structured in moving students from particular to particular, where it is used in teaching specific motor skills, word association skills, map skills, and the like, where the main step to directive transductive, where the first is the direct student's attention to items to be associated or related. And then the second is provide opportunity for practice. And third is provide assistance to students who need it. And provide for application in the other situation where directive transductive that can emphasize in this strategy in which is highly structured in moving students from particular to particular. And then the integrative approach has its benefits to in teaching, where it helps alleviate fragmentation of learning and isolated skills instruction. And second is to train learners to think and reason at a higher level, or the critical thinking. Third is provide instruction in a more relevant and interesting to the students. And that can be the benefits of integrative approach.